I was sitting in a hut one day, which was technically my little home at the time, and it was pouring down with rain, and I was watching Avatar: The Last Airbender on my phone with the pouring rain, and the rain was kind of getting in, so I was creeping against like this little corner where the rain wouldn't splash on me. And I thought, wouldn't it be great to go to Japan to find a Zen master? And I was thinking, well, yeah, it would be a fantastic idea. And I checked the prices. I said, how much are the flights? And it was £70. And I was like, shit, £70. All I got to do is just buy a ticket. I was like, but I don't have money, though. I was like, I don't have money. Well, I was like, well, if I become a monk in Japan, I don't need money anyway. So I just need to find a temple, renounce to the temple, and they'll take me in. I'll just shave my head and carry on for the next few years. I won't need any more money than that. So I was like, okay, well, I've got enough money to buy the ticket. I've got enough money to leave, and I've got enough money for food until I am able to find a place. So I took my stuff, which was literally a rucksack. I had those little German school bags. They look a weird name, like Roger, and it's got a little fox on it. And I had that bag, and I had 5 pairs of underwear, 1 pair of shorts, 1 pair of trousers, and 2 t-shirts and a shirt, and all fit in this little bag. And I just left. I booked the ticket and I left, and I was in Thailand at the time. And this was after the Vipassana story that I told you about. And I came to Japan, and I had no idea what I was doing, but all I knew I wanted to do is I needed to get to the other side of the country. And the reason I knew that is because I walked up to the till, the information desk, tried to speak English. Obviously, they don't speak English there. So I got up on Google Translate, can you find me the oldest temple in Japan? And she obviously was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm going to show you a picture. I'll try to put it up. This is what I looked like. And I turn up to the till, and she's like, yeah, she asked me like, why do you want to figure that out? And I was like, I want to find a temple to renounce to. And I'm flat out saying this to this woman. She's like, she's like, they're not going to let you in. And I said, no. I was like, no, please. I'm one of them. They're going to let me in. I'm one of these guys. Trust me. I'll shave my head. There'll be no problem. They'll let me in. I'll be there on their doorstep. Like I've traveled far and wide. Let me in, sensei. Like this completely oblivious belief. Anyway, and the reason I asked her is because I couldn't search Japanese internet. Like you don't get, like my phone wouldn't search the Japan sites and stuff. So it's very different, their internet that they use. So she finds the temple. It was in Fukui, which is like the other side of Japan. And I was like, fucking sweet. Let's go. Thank you so much. I got up on my Google Maps, and I went off my trail. And I thought, well, the only way I can actually get there is if I hitchhike. Because the flights were super expensive, more expensive than it was to get to Japan. And the trains and stuff were also quite expensive. Some of the trains, they're not, but they don't go all the way. So what I did was I just decided to hitchhike, and I thought, you know what an amazing traveler I would be if I just took an aeroplane there. They're not going to let me in if I don't look like I've literally fucking crawled to their temple on my hands and knees. They're not going to let me in. I may as well turn up in a suit and tie and shake their hand and say, hello, I'm here to join the dojo. So I just thought, I'll just hitchhike there, or I'll walk or hike. And I looked at it, and it was 3 days. It took me 3 days. Fuck. 3 days! It's going to take me 3 days. I had a pair of flip-flops. I literally had a pair of flip-flops and a red shirt. And I was like, 3 days. 3 days. 3 days? I was like, should I just go back to Thailand? So I was like, no, I'm going to commit to this. So, and I can share some clips right here, right now. I'm going to put some on. But basically then what happened was I had some doubt, and I wanted to trust that I could do this because I had some fear. Like I started to walk, and I set the map. I spent an entire day walking, and I didn't even leave Tokyo. I spent an entire day. Imagine you've been walking for, an entire day, 5 hours, still a long time. 5 hours trying to walk to the motorway right, which leaves Tokyo to then take me to the next city. I couldn't even find it. It took me 5 hours. And I took a train at one point. In that 5 hours, I had no idea what I was doing. I put it on Google Maps, put on walk, and then I just walked in that direction, and I couldn't find it, and I had no idea what I was doing. I was like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever done. How am I going to do this? And then all of a sudden, I turned around and I started walking back, and then I just had this realization, now, fuck this. I said, I'm just going to do it. I turned around and I just walked, and I stopped, and every urge I had to turn around, I just resisted it, and I just rejected it and just kept on walking. And then all of a sudden, it's so hot, like I am sweating my off. I had to go to the shop to buy an umbrella because I could not take the heat. So I'm walking with this umbrella, and then I realized that there's a straight long road, and I'm like, right, this could be a good shout for me. So I stand by the side of the road with my umbrella, black umbrella, and I just wave every car that comes past. And then all of a sudden, a guy actually turns up. So I meet this guy called Hero, and he takes me to, like, not even the next city, but he takes me far enough. And then I'm on the right main road at this time, so I'm walking, and all of a sudden I'm there, and I'm just like, no one's picking me up. Nothing's happening. And I'm just like, shit. What do I do? I'm like, I'm actually stranded here right now. There's nowhere to go. I've just walked for hours. I'm on this like motorway dirt track road, which is like in the middle of nowhere. You know, like a motorway, but in Japan, it's not like they have like, every service station is like miles and miles out, and no one's picking me up. And then all of a sudden, I just pray. I literally said, God, please just get me a lift. Please, you're my last resort at this stage. Just please, please, please. And I prayed. And then I thought, this is going to be the one. And a car just drives past. And I'm like, this is the one. And it goes, whew. And then there's no more cars left in sight. And I'm like, and I'm just there. It's kind of like in this half despair, just like, I don't even know what to do at this moment. I'm like, all these Japanese guys are scared of me, probably. Like, they're all very scared of Westerners, especially ones with tattoos. And then all of a sudden, he does a U-turn on the main junction, comes back around, and then he's like, konnichiwa. And I'm just like, what? Anyway, got in the car and he drove me 2 hours to the next town. I was like, this is amazing. I love Japan. What a nice guy. Anyway, long story short, I go through this journey and I meet amazing people. One time I was stuck in this thunderstorm, and this woman and son, they took me like 2 hours out again. They give me money. They told me I was sleeping under desks. I was sleeping in Japanese desk cafes, like computer cafes. And because I don't know what they do there in Japan, but you can have 6 hours blocks in these internet cafes, and they have cushioned floors. So if you want to, you can technically sleep the night under the desk. So you can literally sleep on the floor of the desk for 6 hours in the night. And so that's what I was doing every night, and it cost me £20 or something like that to sleep under the desk, to sleep on a on the floor of a computer desk. And and then they had a shower, so I'd wake up and I'd shower, and then I'd be on my way the morning after. And I did this for a while, and then I got to the last place, and the last place was a 3-hour hike in my flip-flops, and I am sweating from head to toe. And this is really the walk that made me look like an absolute holy scruff bag. And I am walking through a forest, and there's flies everywhere, so I'm getting my incense. I got this little sage, and I'm burning sage, thinking that it's going to get rid of the flies. It actually worked.
So one quick tip, if this ever would happen to you. If there's ever flies attacking you, I probably stink. That was probably part of it. But there was just flies buzzing around my head. So if you light sage...
I don't know if it's the smoke or the smell or something, but I'm burning sage, walking through a forest in my flip-flops, using an umbrella as a walking stick because my feet are wrecked. Like, I'm so tired. It is so hot. It's the hottest there's ever been in my entire life.
You know,
I've never fathomed so much heat in my life. And my feet are hurting so bad. And I've been walking for 3 days at that point. And I'm using a walking and it's got a little crink in it. It's got a little bent bit because I've been walking on it for so long, and the umbrella's not even that long, so I've got this little lean on the walking stick, and I look lopsided. Anyway, I finally get to the temple, and it's getting dark, so I've missed the opportunity for there to be any reception open or anything that you can like speak to someone like a normal person. So without realizing, there's this little chained barrier that blocks you from getting through, and I just step over the chained barrier because I'm just a disrespectful Westerner, and I have no idea. I am just that ignorant Western boy. I think I'm one of these guys, so I'm just like, well, this is my home, bitch. Let me crawl over this fucking fence. And I'm walking in like the most sacred place I think I've ever been. I'm not kidding you. It was something off Avatar: The Last Airbender. There was statues of the previous like Rinpoches probably that were just like in alignment on the walkway, and I'm just walking through, and there's trees that are bigger than this fucking skyscraper that I'm currently looking at, and it is just raw dog silence. It's just, and I'm like, this is actually the most sacred place I've ever been in my life, and I'm trailing through it in my flip-flops, and like, I'm just like, I need to speak to someone. So I walk up to the top of this pathway. I see this big building, and I also see another big doors, but none of it looks like a front door. You know what I mean? Like, I want to find the front door so that at least it looks like I'm not just like intruding. But at this stage, I'm flat out intruding on this sacred place, and I'm just like, have no idea what I'm doing. I'm honestly at this stage, I honestly don't. And when I look back, I'm like, what on planet Earth what was I doing? I'm walking around, and I sit on a step, and I'm so shy and anxious. And I turn around, and there's one of the monks closing all the doors and windows. And as he comes to one window, he sees me sitting there, dressed as I am, on the step, waves at me, and then closes the doors and carries on. I was like, what the fuck? What is he? Is that just normal for him to see? Like, he just literally just went, and then carries on closing and carries on with his duties. At that stage, I was like, is he going to come over and speak to me, or is he just carrying on with his day? At that point, I waited. He carried on with his day. So then I'm like, okay, what should I do? So I walk down another set of steps, and I find a window. And it's dark outside, but it's light inside. So you know what it looks like when it's dark outside and it's light inside. You can't really see who's there behind the door, behind the window. So I'm pressing my face against the window so they can see me, and I'm just like banging and waving on the window, like knocking it. And they're probably thinking, who the fuck is this guy? So they come outside, and they're talking to me on Google Translate. And basically I'm saying, hey, I'm here to become a monk. And he's like, no Westerners can become monks here. And I said, no, you don't understand. I've come so far. I hiked here. I've given up everything I've owned to be here. Please let me stay, even for just one night. And he's like, no, we can't let you stay. And I was like, no, seriously, you don't understand. And he's like, no, we can't let you stay. And then he grabs me like this and kind of like nudges me to move on. And then he's like, and then basically just says bye. So, and then I'm sitting on the step, and I haven't left the temple completely. And I'm sitting on the step, and I'm just crying. I'm just like crying. And I felt like they really were going to let me in. This is crazy. What do I do? Where do I go now? I felt kind of lost. I was kind of hoping, like partially hoping this was going to work. Obviously, I was hoping it was going to work. And he didn't let me in, and I thought, this is crazy. And then all of a sudden, I hear footsteps coming from behind me, and I'm like, this is the monk. And I'm like, this little joy comes in. I'm like, he's going to let me in. He's going to let me in. And all of a sudden, he comes down, he crouches next beside me, and I'm just like, he's like, please, you must leave. I forgot this guy spoke English. He's the head monk. The other guys were the guys I was talking to on the chat with. He's the head monk. And he's like, you must leave. And I was like, he's like, you can't stay here. He's like, please leave the premises. And I was like, no. I was like, "Will you just give me some sign? Where do I go from here?" He's like, "I can't tell you where to go from here." This is what he said. "I can't tell you where to go from here, because if I give you one direction, that will be favorable, and I have no favorites." That's literally what he said. And at that point, I'm like, okay, fair enough. I was not expecting that one. So I leave and I walk, and I'm sitting outside, but on the curb. I'm outside, I'm on the curb, and I'm calling my best friend Jack, and he's like, "Bro, don't worry, bro. I'm gonna get you temple. No worries." And he's googling everywhere in Japan temple. He's like, "Yeah, there's one in X, Y, and Z. This is with a German monk, though." And I'm like, "I don't want a German monk, bro. I want a Japanese monk, bro." And he's like, "Okay, I'll find another one." And he's like searching all these things for me. And he's like, "Yeah, I found another one, but it's like 3 years minimum, and I don't want you gone for 3 years." And I was like, "Yeah, but bro, like, you know, if I become a monk, like, it could be even longer than 3 years." And we're having this discussion about how long I should or shouldn't be a monk for. And then he's just like, and then all of a sudden, the police come, and then I'm getting escorted in a police car.
So, I'm in the back of a police car right now. It's a long story. I love life. It's so unexpected. Who would have thought that instead of being allowed in the temple, I'm in the back of a police car. I hitchhiked for 3 days. And then just walked for 3 hours in flip-flops in 45-degree heat. Where am I now?
They called the police on me. So now I'm speaking, these Japanese police shining a torch in my eye, going, and I'm just like, what's going on right now? And I'm like getting my Google Translate out, and I'm like, what's going on? That's what I said. And then they're like, "Yes, report of intrusion. We need to escort you back to where you come from." And I'm like, "Well, I didn't come from anywhere. I mean, I came from Tokyo. You want to take me back to Tokyo, bro?" Like, by all means, like 3-day walk. And then he's just like, takes me in the taxi in the police car then, and he takes me back to the main train station, where I slept on a bench, on a concrete bench. And that was my trip in Japan. What did I learn? I mean, it was just fun, really, you know. It was just fun.